Good morning. This is the day 7 of my 12-day juice fast that I'm chronicling on YouTube. Today happens to be a Wednesday. It is June 12th. And I started a video before, but I ran out of space. I hope that doesn't happen this time. Anyway, I started out with some juice I had left over in the fridge from yesterday. It was the carrot, kale juice, which I had a lot of, and I added strawberry to it to make it kind of sweet, which was, really refreshing, and I had enough to get me going. And I also had a cup of chai before I went to meditate, and that was really good. I was really grateful for the chai. And then I came home and I was thinking, well, maybe I'll have some more chai. And then I thought, well, that's a little too much on the cheat side. And I realized I was hungry and that I really needed to juice. I just had to face the fact that it was juice time. It's always juice time. That's one of the things you realize when you're doing a long fast. It's always juice time. So, or it seems that way. So I got out my juicers. I wanted to, use what I had, and I had a lot of kale. So I got out my Omega emulsifying juicer, which is a really good little tool. I did celery, romaine lettuce, and the kale, and I had a lot of kale. So I did that, and I got a lot of green juice, and then I did the carrot and ginger because I didn't have any apples, and I want to save the. I thought I was getting apples yesterday at Walmart, but I picked up nectarines by mistake. When I was in the checkout, it was like, well, just take the nectarines. But I'm going to use them for my, when I do fruit juicing. I'll probably do a nice fruit juice later today. Some orange, pineapple, nectarine, watermelon, maybe no watermelon, maybe just the nectarines. And I love that because it's like dessert, it's just so sweet and such ambrosia, so uplifting. So have that to look forward to later. And I still have some nice Bloody Mary tomato fresh juice in the fridge, and I'll have that for a snack. And I made my daily card, which chronicles my achievement, and I achieved day 6 yesterday. Day 7 is today. It's the first day of the second half. And 12 is it's a bit of a long time. It's not 7, it's not 5, it's 12. It's a long time. And by the time I will get to the end of it, I will be feeling, like I'm kind of tired of juicing, big time. I'm going to do the video this afternoon, I think, if I have any time, on the veggie burgers using the pulp. And I have been composting my pulp, which is also good. In terms of the weight goals, I really feel like I'm making progress. One of the things is I have a very thin body type, and one of my main goals for this, weight loss is to get my legs back. Like I have thin legs basically, and tall. I'm very tall. Not very tall. I'm 5'8". That's not very tall anymore. When I was younger, it was very tall, but now it's just tall. But I'm long and tall, but small. Long, tall, and small. And I have naturally thin legs, but when I gain weight, I gain it all in my thighs. And I've been studying Aikido lately, martial arts, and the more that I practice my Aikido, I realize I'm really getting my need for my body to be very much in shape, all my muscles engaged. You do a lot of rolls in Aikido, and you really need to have strong legs. And to get this fat off of my physiology, I really believe that my body is going to be extremely relieved. It's sort of like tidying up in your house, streamlining your possessions, getting rid of the things that you don't use and you don't need. When we eat more food than our body can use, it needs to find a place for the excess. And it will store it here, there, and everywhere. But I am quite sure it's like having too many possessions in your house where you're always tripping over them. It's harder to find what you need. It makes movement difficult. It makes fast movement difficult, which would make your system more sluggish. And as I get down to a point where I really just have what my body needs, lean muscle, trim, streamline, I actually, I'm quite convinced that it's going to be very good for my body because it's going to be just being able to take care of the functions it needs to take care of. One of the healing things about juicing is because you're not digesting, your body isn't taking that energy into the digesting, it's able to do tasks that maybe it hasn't been able to do for decades because it's always been engaged with other activities, mainly digesting. So once you take that out of the equation, your body naturally begins going to other areas and taking care, healing other areas, which it does naturally. The body is really quite a remarkable set of intelligent mechanisms. And I've juiced so much that I've seen it and I take it kind of for granted. But initially when I started juicing and I saw it healing, getting rid of inflammation, cleaning up, skin tone. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there were some sort of miraculous things that, it was able to address and that maybe it hadn't addressed in 30 years. This is like breakthrough science. This is breakthrough medicine, really. And, there are videos on YouTube chronicling people with chronic diseases doing juice fast for, I think, a month, 28 days, something like that. There's a really good one I just watched a few weeks ago. The results they have should be mainline headline news. This should be rocking the medical community, and it's not, and that's a problem. Because what we really have is a disease care system. It's not even care, it's disease control. I don't know. I really don't know what they think they're doing. Selling drugs is what they're doing. Not good. Because it really should be the healing arts, and that is the basic principle of medicine. I heard a story, I don't know if it's apocryphal or if it's true, that in China, a doctor was sort of paid on retainer, and the physician would be paid as long as the patient stayed well. As soon as the patient fell ill, the doctor would stop receiving money. And that's really the way we need to roll. We could have a medical or a health wellness system where a person would pay something like an insurance, probably smaller than we need to pay now. And we could get coached, supported in correct diet, exercise, cleansing, massage, Ayurvedic massage. I've done a lot of that. That's extremely healing. Very low tech. Just takes a couple of masseuses and some sesame oil and, very low tech massage table, just a lot of dealing with oil is really what it comes down to. Good plumbers for the plumbing system that might get clogged up. But, and then when the patient was ill and at a time when they might not be able to pay, then the system would not get their resources, not be able to make money off the disease, which is not good. We all know it. We all know it, and we're getting to know it more and more. More and more people are taking health into their own hands and, doing things like juice fasting. And if you're watching this, you probably are, and you know how great it is. So juice on.